We are a species that has always asked why. Since the moment we looked at the stars and realized we were separate from them, we have tried to map the territory of existence. In the West, this quest became known as philosophy. In the East, specifically in the Indian subcontinent, it was called Darshana. At a glance, they look like the same thing, the pursuit of truth. But if you look closer, they are two fundamentally different ways of moving through the world. Welcome to the Indic Archive. Today, we lay the foundation. We are exploring the bridge between the Western love of wisdom and the Indian vision of reality. Let's start with the word we all know, philosophy. It comes from the Greek philo, meaning love, and sophia, meaning wisdom. To the Greeks and the Western tradition that followed, philosophy was an intellectual gymnastics. It was rigorous, a logical attempt to understand the logos, the underlying order of the universe. For much of Western history, the philosopher is a spectator. They sit outside the object of study, using reason, math, and logic to dissect it. Whether it's Descartes saying, I think, therefore I am, or Kant defining the limits of human reason, the goal is often explanation. Success in Western philosophy is often found in a bulletproof argument. If the logic holds, the quest is a success. But is the knowledge enough? Now let's travel east. In the Indian tradition, the word used isn't philosophy, but Darshana. It comes from the Sanskrit root drish, which means to see. This is a crucial distinction. A darshana is not just a theory, it is a view or a direct vision of the truth. Imagine the difference between reading a book about the ocean and actually standing on the shore, feeling the salt spray on your face. That is the difference between philosophy and darshan. Indian thought produced 6 astic or orthodox schools, which were also called the Shat Darshanas. From the atomism of the Vaisheshika to the logic of the Nyaya and the profound metaphysics of Vedanta. But unlike the West, these weren't just intellectual hobbies. They were moksha shastras, the sciences of liberation. Here is where the paths diverge. In the West, philosophy became increasingly academic. You can be a brilliant philosopher of ethics and still be an unhappy or even a bad person in your private life. The intellect and the life are often separate in the West. In the Indic tradition, a darshana is a failure if it doesn't transform the person. If you study Sankhya or Yoga and your suffering doesn't decrease or your clarity doesn't increase, you haven't done the philosophy. The goal is moksha, freedom from the cycles of suffering and ignorance. Philosophy wants to know the light, Darshana wants to become the light. Why are we starting this channel now? Because we live in a world with plenty of information but very little vision. The Western tradition has given us the tools of modern science and technology, which are invaluable. But The Indic tradition offers the internal technology, the maps of the mind and the soul that helps us live within that world. On this channel, we aren't just going to talk about history, we are going to explore these ancient visions. We will look at the lives of the sages, the complexity of the texts, and how these thousand-year-old ideas are more relevant today than ever. This is just the beginning of our journey through the map of the Indian mind. In our next video, we will dive deep into first of the six orthodox or the Astika schools. If you seek to not just know but to see, subscribe and join the archive. I am your host, Aman, and this is the Indian Archive.